More sightings of the snowstorm shadow monster have been reported in Chapter 2. But it turns out there might be more than just sightings. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Fortnite video for Chapter 2. Blizzard snowstorms continue to rage across our Fortnite islands, covering our map all the way from the north to the south of our islands. But players are beginning to report possible sightings of some kind of giant beast that seems to be moving around within the snowstorm. I've actually seen a handful of potential sightings of this shadowy beast in our Fortnite games that players have sent to me on Twitter. In this video, we're going to be looking at all of the sightings of this actual beast and trying to determine whether there is actually something inside the snowstorm or whether our eyes are just playing tricks on us. I'm going to be looking at each one of them, breaking them down, and making a decision on whether there's actually something in the storm right now. This is one of the latest reported images of a sighting of a beast in Fortnite. Once again, it's during the time of the blizzard. It is nighttime, the moon is up, and our character Fishsticks here is faced with some kind of weird shadow. We can see that our character Fishsticks is looking up towards the sky, and whatever this thing is, it's taller than the trees right next to it. If we were to draw lines around this strange shadow, it looks like we might have some kind of head of a beast, possibly a chin, and possibly even some giant teeth. It is impossible to tell if this thing has a body or how big this body is, as it seems to be covered in the snowy blizzard fog. Could this actually be the head of some kind of shadow beast lost in the snowstorm? I think it's possible. Of course, this is not the only sighting we've seen. In our last video, we talked about this sighting right here of another Fortnite player minding his own business. And then off in the distance, a dark, shadowy beast can be seen. From this image, it looks like this beast has arms and possible legs and seemingly is a giant moving around in the snowy blizzard. We talked on the last episode about the fact that this beast could have claws for hands, as he does seem to have spiky paws. We have even more examples still to come, but some of them I'm not quite sure whether they're actually legitimate or actually fake. This image was also sent in, but from a mobile, and it features a character in creative mode looking off into the distance. I can't quite see what's going on here, what the interest is in the ocean. There does seem to be a bit of a dark shadow forming, but there is no snowstorm, there is no blizzard, and it's not obvious what this player is looking at. Maybe there's something in the ocean? If you guys can see it, let me know. This image was also sent through, but I think we could all agree that this one probably is not real. I don't think this one's real. But if it was, it's clearly the polar peak monster making his way out of the water in Chapter 2. But it does look like this one might have been edited in. The reason why I say that is it looks too 2D. It kind of just looks out of place, and you can see where it's been cropped out in a straight line from where his body reaches the water. I mean, you guys can decide for yourself, but I feel like this one is probably not real. The two most realistic sightings both take place in the blizzard at nighttime, and there does seem to be some kind of giant, weird shape moving through our snowy storms. Could these sightings be mountains or trees, or the wind and snow making strange shapes in our sky? Or is there something more going on? Are we soon to find snowy footprints of some kind of giant beast, much like we did back in Season 9? Or are we going to start hearing sounds of a crying monster echoing through the dark, blizzardy night? Guys, there is still more information I want to get into, so we're going to jump into game. Do remember, if you want to support this channel, make sure you use the support to creator code that is on screen right now. All right, guys, let's get into game. So I'm not really sure how excited I should be about all of this. On one hand, it could just be a bunch of fake Photoshop stuff that people are sending me. But on the other hand, it could be one of the greatest events to ever come to Fortnite. Oh my goodness. Guys, welcome back to Fortnite. I just spotted, I think, a bot. I don't have a gun. Give me something good here. Okay, that will do. Seriously, what are we dealing with in this game? After we broke the story, like literally the other day, a bunch of people messaged me all kinds of images on Twitter. And I'll be honest, as I said, I think some of them are pretty fake. I mean, we've discussed that in today's video. But it does seem as soon as we broke this story, a bunch of people started to notice things going on in their Fortnite game. Which is epic, because it means if this is actually an event, we will be the first ones to break this story. Hey, speaking of break this story, I'm about to break this game. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Every season in Fortnite and every event in Fortnite has one thing all in common. It's mystery. Epic Games is great at producing mystery inside their game. You can think back to the Polar Peak monster, how we didn't know what was in the water. It just had a castle on its back. Or how about the Loot Lake bunker back in Season 8? We didn't know what was inside, and the mystery of the event is what made it interesting. We now have a new mystery on Chapter 2. Something is possibly in the snowstorms, in the blizzards, in the really snowy bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to get carried away with myself because I know, like, during the snowstorms, it's so easy just to see, like, a tree or a building and think, oh my goodness, it's the Polar Peak monster. But it's not. It's a tree, possibly. But I'm telling you, after today's video, I'm pretty convinced that there is something else going on in Fortnite. There is something on an island walking about, probably up to no good. I wanted to break down exactly what I think is going on here, what I think this thing is that is going around our Fortnite island. Let's get into it. We are working on the basis that this is actually real. Everything we're seeing is some kind of beast in our game that we're only seeing during this snowy storm phase. So, yeah, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. My first theory is this could be some kind of giant bear. That's right, bear. Now, you might be saying, Max, why a bear? There are no bears in Fortnite. Wrong. Look again. Yours good. This is one of the new skins that has just been introduced into Fortnite, the Polar Patrol. It's a giant bear. One of the images that we actually looked at of this beast in the storm had these giant claws for hands. It kind of reminds me of a possible giant bear. And obviously, this character here, the Polar Patrol, is a giant bear. I mean, Epic Games might just be introducing the idea that a giant bear could exist in Fortnite. And maybe this character, the Polar Patrol, is just like a baby or an underdeveloped giant bear. It's just a pretty crazy idea. I appreciate it's pretty crazy, but I think it's possible. Yo, speaking of possible, I do believe there is a guy here. Yo, told you. Yo, homie, you might as well come down. Oh! My other theory is probably one of the more obvious ones. I think this could actually be the Polar Peak monster. Well, at least that's what I really hope it is. Yo, homie, come down here. Stop goofing about. I mean, this shows all of the signs of the Polar Peak. You snake. I mean, this shows all of the signs of the Polar Peak monster. A giant beast running around our islands with massive claws and a possible single eye. Gotcha, boy. Da, 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 da. What? How? Whoa. What? I'm pretty sure he didn't have the right gun out, and I'm pretty sure I was so close to him that he couldn't whip out a shotgun and get me. How is this possible? Okay, let me be on record super quick. I just looted that house, and that house. And this was the loadout I was left with. Don't ever land here, ever. Let me give you guys a date. The 6th of February. What does that mean to you? Probably nothing, right? The 6th? Anything? Anything? 6th of February is supposedly when this season is going to be ending. That is the end date for Chapter 2, Season 1. And we know Epic Games has told us there is going to be a final event for this season. A live event happening in-game before this season ends. That is literally like a month away. So that means anything that's happening happening now, right now in game, is deciding what the final event is going to be. The things that are happening in our game right now, looking at the snowstorm and the shadows, wink wink, might be an indication of what is coming in the final events for this season. There was a lighthouse here, I'm pretty sure at some point. I heard it, I could see it. I mean, what is that? What is that? The point I'm making is the timing of all of this is super interesting. We're starting to see things go on our Fortnite island in the shadows at the same time as a snowstorm blizzard, literally a month before the final events for this season. So if we're trying to work out whether this is real, whether this is actually going to be an event, I think there's a pretty good chance that this could actually be real. That's what I'm saying. Could actually be real. Oh! Get him off me! Get this guy away! Oh no! Woo! I'm glad I didn't overreact to that one, man. Stayed cool as a cucumber. Alright guys, as I need for speed out of here, I want to keep seeing more of these images if you guys have them. If you think you see something crazy strange going on in this snowy blizzard, do let me know. You can let me know on Twitter, you can let me know in the comment section below. I want to see if I can get to the bottom of this. Is it fake? Is it real? Is it just the beginning of Chapter 2, Season 1's final event? Hey, I'm just playing. But seriously though, let me know if you guys see anything. Otherwise, I think it's time we get a special, deliberate, snowy dub of the day. We're fooling around. 2020 is a big year, full of big wins. Guys, let's get it. Here I come. What just happened? What? Double teamed? Dude, lightsabers are cursed, man. They're like totally cursed. I'm so done with lightsabers, man.